This is Carrie Marie with The Vegan Voice, and tonight I am interviewing Paris Connolly. She is a vegan animal rights activist. She has started her own nonprofit farm sanctuary, and she also has her own company, Sign Up for Love, which is making signs, vegan signs, animal signs, and the proceeds go to her farm sanctuary. There you are. Okay, so let's get into this. The first thing I want to know is, how long have you been vegan?
Okay, cool. Good first question. I've been vegan for 2.5 years. I became a vegan in October of 2013. I was a vegetarian for about 10 years, sort of taking the lazy vegan approach, I like to call it. Dairy, eggs, cheese was a weakness of mine, and just sort of didn't really make the connection with the cruelty and suffering that went on in these industries until I went to a private screening of speciesism that was happening in Boston, where I used to live, and my world was just flipped upside down. I was exposed to, just horrible things that happened, such as, grinding up of male chicks on day one, and I saw mother cows slipping and sliding in their own waste, and it was just really, really difficult and jarring for me. And I sort of made the decision right then and there that this was something that was just too much to forget about, and was a process and an exploitive industry that I just couldn't see myself contributing into anymore. So I made the decision to go vegan, sort of had a little bit of a crisis in my life where I wasn't really sure how to continue to go on knowing what was happening around the world. But I tried to take that energy and that frustration and transfer it into a positive direction. And that's when I decided that I wanted to start a sanctuary.
I can't talk enough about how horrible the things that go on in those factory farms, and just in the animal agriculture industry in general. It's just wretched. So my next question is, you already answered why you went vegan, and then I was going to ask if you were vegetarian before, and you said yes. So how long have you been vegan? 2.5 years?
Yep, 2.5 years vegan, vegetarian for 10 years prior to that. So when I was in my, I want to say it was my sophomore year of college, I actually sat in on a presentation that a girl in my speech class did. It was a persuasive speech, and she had 5 minutes to sort of convince the class of why they should go vegetarian. And she talked about the 3 major moving parts of veganism, actually, but it was translated to me as vegetarian at the time. And she talked about, mass production of animals, pollution to the environment, turmoil and negative effects on our health that we have. But she passed around some leaflets and information on factory farming that was just mind blowing. And I think I was traumatized. The world had just been sort of opened up for me. My eyes were exposed to, just farming in general. I was a city girl and didn't really have a lot of exposure to it, and decided to not eat animals, not realizing, obviously, like I had mentioned, the eggs and the dairy piece of it being so tied in and linked that I just didn't at the time make the connection. So I lived about a decade, believing that I was doing the right thing, that I wasn't, consuming their flesh. So it was, a step in the right direction. And I was doing as much as I could, not really getting it at that point. And it took until my late 20s for me to figure that out and make the decision that, all of it just isn't something that is worth it, for a few minutes of palate pleasure. It just isn't, we just do too much damage. So yeah, had to make some changes.
That's awesome. And you have founded or started a nonprofit, and what is the name of that?
It's called Loveland Farm Sanctuary. When I moved to California about 1.5 years ago with my boyfriend Dave, I had already had in mind that I wanted to start a farm sanctuary, and we were in Boston at the time when I kind of decided that this is where I wanted to put all my energy. And we weren't sure where in Southern California we would end up, so we looked around. We were looking in San Diego, and we finally settled on Orange County, and there really just isn't anything like it here. So it's actually sort of a great opportunity to bring the world of compassionate living into the community and help, just get the word out and create some awareness about, living a healthy, cruelty-free lifestyle, how easy it can be and how, positive it can be for so many areas of our life. So I've been working for the last year and a half to sort of, kind of concrete the project, and under Loveland Farm Sanctuary as a nonprofit organization in California, we've already been, gone through the paperwork of being considered we have like an ID number and all of that, but what we don't have is our tax exemption status. So that's something that is a big, up and coming project for me. That's something, a short-term goal that I'd like to see us get to, is to get that 501c3 status so we can start, collecting true donations.
When you think about having your own farm sanctuary, is that do you get overwhelmed ever by just the thought of do you know what you need to do with the animals, or is it going to be more like a learning process? Or are you going to hire people to, kind of guide you, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think it will definitely involve a lot of hands and hearts. We'll have to, rely on, those in the community that want to be part of it for, helping with volunteer efforts and training. And like I had mentioned, I'm a city girl, so I really, up until a couple of years ago, didn't have any exposure to farm animals. And,
that's amazing.
Anything that I knew about them sort of was, true farming. I had some family members that went to agricultural schooling and grew up with animals in their home for the purposes of, food and dairy and eggs. But that was really the only exposure to them that I ever had. So I never really got any hands-on or, bonding or time in that, right? So I, in the last couple of years, have been trying to spend time with them when I can. And I do some volunteering work in our area locally, maybe once a month or once every couple of months. There's a little education center at one of the elementary schools in a nearby town that has farm animals for the kids as a learning opportunity for them on how to take care of them. And it's kind of like a sanctuary. They live their life in peace. They're not, to be used in any way, but they don't have the label of sanctuary. But it does give me the chance to interact with them and spend time with them. And
well, I saw a post you had said that you're going back to some animal sanctuary, and then I think you had said, or located it at a school, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I know, it's an interesting little concept that they have, and as of right now, they're doing a really great job of taking care of the animals and allowing them to live peacefully and just be observed and to actually be cared for in terms of their, grooming, feeding, cleaning up of their areas. And so I've had my fair share of shoveling, manure. It's been fun, but I mean, when you get to the real crux of farm animals that are rescued from factory farms and that have been neglected and abused situations, it's a little different. And I think that, that kind of experience I don't quite have yet. I took care of a little hen that sadly passed away named Sparkle. The folks at Blackberry Creek Sanctuary, and I believe it's Colfax, northern part of California, they had asked me to watch their little sweet chicken, Sparkle, and she was
at your house?
Yeah, house. She stayed with us for 2 or 3 days, and she was deformed. Unfortunately, she was lame and couldn't use one of her wings, and she would flop around, and her legs had bowed out. One of her legs was completely mangled, and she was just a sad, product of the egg industry. And luckily, she experienced. Yeah, it was really hard. It was hard to watch her struggle, for sure. She was such a joy, though. She had such life and desire to live. It was a sad day for everybody, but Danielle likes to think that she ran in on her new strong legs when she got there. We fell in love with her and bonded with her right away. It's cases like that that really keep inspiring me and motivating me to keep going.
You're kind of just winging it, really. I mean, you're just sort of learning as you go and volunteering and just sort of,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have a dream and a passion for something. You just have to start somewhere, you know. And over the last couple of years, I've gotten some experience, and I'm just going to keep building off of that knowledge and trying to establish a safe haven here in my local community that can be representative of the sanctuaries that are already doing really good work all across the country and even all around the globe. I mean, just heard lovely stories about sanctuaries in New Zealand and Australia and Great Britain, and it's just, I mean, I'm just blown away by the compassionate people that live around the planet that want to see farm animals treated with respect and dignity.
So you have a company called Sign Up for Love, one word, and you have an Etsy shop. And what are these signs that you have, and why do you have them?
So Sign Up for Love is sort of a project of Loveland Farm Sanctuary, really our fundraising arm to sort of get some baseline funds in a pot that we can set aside and really start to see grow over the next, year or 2 years until we can get enough funding to start the sanctuary. And so Sign Up for Love is really your opportunity to sign up for love for Loveland by purchasing a decorative sign that I make by hand. They're all custom, handmade. I sell them on Etsy, and then I also sell them at different veg fests and marketplaces that are kind of vegan or cruelty-free based, and just try to get out into the community, create awareness that Loveland is something that is up and coming, and that the signs themselves are a conduit for raising funds to be able to start that sanctuary. So I have some of them that I'm happy to show you.
I want to see the new color too.
Yeah, I have a couple new colors. So this is one of the first original signs that was made. This is the Vegan is Love sign, and I originally designed it with a gray paw print here, and then I branched out and did red, and I also have pink hearts too. So it's a nice little heart kind of shaped sign that I think is representative of how we feel as vegans.
I love pigs. Oh my goodness. Was that sold out once on your Etsy store?
No, it's still there. I mean, maybe I had disabled the account for a little while until I had restocked, but not the account, the listing. But this listing is it's up and readily available for purchase. So I have the pig, but I also do Friends Not Food chicken.
That's my mom. She loves chickens.
Oh, that's great. That would be nice to see one of those in her home.
Oh my gosh, is that the new look? Or
this is another style that I have of Friends Not Food. So this is like a charcoal-y. It was actually a happy accident. I was trying to make yellow, believe it or not, but I clearly don't know my color wheel well enough to mix colors on my own. So I ended up with this like bluish green sort of style. Thank you. Thanks. And then I have Cruelty-Free Zone, this is also one of the originals. This was the most popular one that I was selling right when I first started back in August. It just was kind of like a hot number.
I'm going to have one of everything soon.
That would be great. To go around. So this is the Welcome to My Vegan Kitchen sign. The one I was just mentioning is now the kind of hot commodity. Everybody loves this sign, which I'm really, really humbled by and grateful and appreciative that it's getting any recognition. It seems to be the one that most people come out for when I go to events. And then this is the purple that you were talking about, the new bright colors. Thank you.
It's just so contemporary. I love that. I really haven't seen a lot of signs made in those colors. You see pastels a lot, but those are just funky and kind of really new and modern. I love it.
Thank you. I'm trying to appeal to all styles because I know that there's, being vegan isn't, it's a specific type of person. It is, transcendent across all different likes and styles and interests and political, favorites and religious, entities. I mean, you can be any type of vegan that, is in your heart, and you might like bold colors. You might like the flat colors. Like here's another sign called the Prepare with Love sign. And these are all decorative. They can't be actually used. The cutting boards are just, to be displayed in the kitchen. But, these are like the more muted soft colors that might appeal to some over others. And then I have, this one is my Peace Begins on Your Plate sign that I made. I have a few different plates themselves. I have gold and silver and
Almost
wooden.
antique style almost.
Antique style a little, yeah, for sure. And I hand painted this whole thing myself. So this is one of the newer ones that I have. And then this one you know pretty well, Vegan by the Sea.
Oh yeah, I have that one.
Yeah, you have this one, and the V's are always a little different depending on what V's are available at the craft store. And then last but not least is my vegan glam sign.
I can like a girl's room or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
the little Audrey Hepburn sunglasses, like breakfast at Tiffany style with the little retro stars. And there's a lot of people that are just really passionate about cruelty-free clothing, apparel, that are just fashionistas and love shopping, and they love makeup, but they do it all, cruelty-free and compassionate based. And so there's a sign for them. And that's it. That's pretty much the full collection. I dabble here and there with like seasonal stuff. That once in a while I'll have something different that comes out. If it's, like during Christmas, I had ornaments that were all vegan ornaments. It's like vegan Christmas.
Oh, wow.
That sort of stuff. But yeah, this is basically like a core collection.
And it's such a good, having something like that in your kitchen, like welcome to my vegan kitchen. That's such a good way of getting other people to ask you what it's about. And just to make a statement, even without having to say anything, if people are over at your house and they see that, they might ask you what vegan is or what that's about. So
for sure, I think it's a great conversation starter, and I think it's a very non-threatening way to do it as well, because eating vegan, obviously, for the various reasons that we talked about, is also a very personal thing, and it can also be very intimidating if you don't know what the main or standard components are that go into vegan cooking. Like that, nuts are really good for making sauces, like cheese sauces, and nutritional yeast is a staple. These things can be overwhelming and intimidating for those that don't know. And if you have a welcome, if you're letting people know that I'm inviting you in, there's no hostility, come on in and have some really good vegan food. I think it's hopefully a positive message.
Yeah. I was going to say, if someone wants to order a sign from you, what's the best way to go about that? Are there multiple ways or just one?
So I have a few different channels. You can follow me on Instagram under my name, Paris, and my middle name actually, which is Amorae. And I post all my pictures on Instagram.
I've always wondered, is that Amore?
It's Amore, actually.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like Amore. It has the same meaning. It's just a different spelling. So you can follow me on Instagram and see the signs there. And then I'm also on Facebook under Sign Up for Love Land. Actually, it's the Facebook page, but it's Sign Up for Love. And then you can purchase the signs on my Etsy shop, which is etsy.com/shop/sign up for love, all one word.
Okay, or the way I found you was I just went to Etsy and I did a search for Sign Up for Love.
Right, you can do that too. Yeah, sure.
And the Sign Up for Love is all one word, so there's no spaces between it if you are searching for her on the Etsy shop. You have got this awesome thing going weekly now that is Cooking with Paris. What is that about?
Thank you for asking. That's a new little venture that I started actually for my mom, because my mom had asked me at the beginning of the year if I would show her some different vegan dishes that she can make easily. She's not really, never really been somebody that liked cooking. It was just never something that really drew her, in. She's very creative, but for some reason, cooking just wasn't part of that creative streak. So she needed a little bit of hand holding. And I said, sure, absolutely. That would be fun for us to maybe do it virtually, because obviously we'd have to do it virtually given that she's still in Boston and I'm here in California. Then in addition to that, I had some other family and friends that had just seen my Facebook posts, or, were just curious about vegan food and how they could kind of start to incorporate maybe just 1 or 2 dishes in a week just to get started or whatever. And I decided to open it up to all of my Facebook family and friends. We do it through Google Hangouts, and it's on Mondays. I've decided to start
Monday for 4 p.m. Pacific Standard
4 p.m. Standard Time, yes. Actually, Pacific Time, sorry. 7 p.m. East Coast Time. And then what I wanted to let you know is that I decided to do it in segments. So the first round is 4 classes, and we're about to do our 3rd class tomorrow. And then we'll do our 4th class, and we'll reconvene and see what time frames work best for everybody, what day of the week works best, if it's most useful to do it weekly, or maybe we move it to a monthly thing. But there's definitely still time to get involved. The one thing is that Google Hangouts only allows 10 people to participate. And this is not your traditional cooking class. This isn't, watching a tutorial and, kind of just pausing and playing whenever you feel like it. It's being part of the class. This is different because we're asking those who join us to bring their ingredients and follow along and actually cook the dish with us, so you have something to try at the end of it, almost as if you had gotten to a real cooking class in person. Because of that nature, we try to keep it intimate so that we can hear all the questions, and we can be heard ourselves, and we can kind of keep track of what's happening, and everybody can follow along and do the course themselves. So it is limited to 10, unfortunately, because of that. But it's also very non-committal. Come and go as you'd like. 1 week, if you can make it, great. If you can't make it the following week, that's fine. And you just sort of first sign up, first in sort of thing. So there's room for everybody along the way.
Okay, and I've been doing it with you for the last couple weeks. Are we on our 4th week or 3rd?
3rd week.
Okay, so that's tomorrow night, and I'm really excited about that. And my mom is actually joining us again from Florida. And I just love this idea that Paris had, because it really allows us to invite other people in such a non-threatening way, and it's fun, and they get to make delicious food that they wouldn't otherwise maybe ever try. So this is just a great way to be like, hey, just come see what it's about, let's just make some vegan food, and there's no pressure for anything. So. Right.
And like your mom, you might be pleasantly surprised. She joined us last week, and we made parts of Palm fish and chips, and
they love it.
From the thing, they're so happy with it, right?
He's a huge fish eater. My mom, not so much. She pretty much sticks to, I don't even think she eats red meat, so that's good. I think she still does eat some chicken, and she loves her dairy, so that's a big thing with her. But just from her doing this last week with us, she's already been asking more questions, and it made her go to like a health food store so she could start seeing other substitutes on the shelves. So she's actually learned a lot already, so it's exciting.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see her again tomorrow and cook again with you guys. So fun.
She's already got her ingredients. I still have to do that.
Well, she's ahead of the game.
Oh my gosh, she had it yesterday. So funny. The last thing I wanted to ask you about was, in your opinion, do you feel like there are more and more vegans kind of popping up every day, or do you feel like this movement is really gaining momentum? Is that your experience, or?
I mean, I would say from what I've seen, absolutely. And just in the last couple of years, I mean, living in Boston was pretty hard. There wasn't a lot there were communities of vegans that existed in the city of Boston, but I lived in the North Shore, and I didn't know any other vegans, and it was really hard. I felt isolated. It was one of the big reasons that propelled me to make the move to the West Coast and settle in Southern California, where it's pretty progressive in that way. But since coming here, I mean, I just hear stories left and right of people that are taking to the cause, and that are curious, that are watching documentaries. There's more and more information available, and there's brilliant people out there that are putting together just incredible exposés and investigations that are taking a clear, peek into the world of, animal agriculture, and it's really shocking what they're discovering.
It's shocking, and it's eye-opening, and I think that it's pretty prevalent on Facebook right now. So that's probably only going to grow as people, see things and kind of shocks them, and then they want to share that. And so I have already experienced quite a few people becoming vegan because of Facebook. I mean, that's why I did.
Right.
So that was just 10 months ago. So it's pretty exciting.
Absolutely. I feel like social media has just been such an amazing conduit for getting the message out. And it's a place that I personally love to, just share information, create awareness, try to, at least with my own personal network of people, my family and friends, because I already have a relationship with them. I hope that, it's a softer, not sell or pitch, but it's easier for them to digest and hopefully pique their interest in a way that allows them to want to take the initiative to further their research and really see what's happening, because it's everyone that becomes a vegan wasn't at one point, for the most part, right? So we all started out as non-vegans, really just not understanding and having any clue what went on. And those that have made the shift to become a vegan and live vegan have seen things that that have just our minds. Yeah, we can't articulate it. We can't put it into words. And the only thing that we can suggest and share with those that we care about is that they also at least see what we've seen before deciding. Don't make your mind up based on social conditioning or whatever you've been told over the years, because we've all heard it. We've all heard, oh, vegans are weird. Vegans are, elitist and entitled.
I never in a million years would think or considered myself a vegan. It's always been kind of a word that, almost was something that just really turned me off, and I never really looked into it, too much until the past few years. And then it's just little seeds were planted here and there, and I started changing my mind towards it. But then, for whatever reason, just didn't make the leap. And then one night I saw this horrible video on Facebook of some piglets in a factory farm, and something just clicked. And it was just like, okay, I've got to stop this. I can't continue to participate in this. So
Right.
I definitely think that people are waking up more and more. And for those people who are watching these videos, or maybe have seen something, or are seeing some of our posts and are really contemplating going vegan, do you have any advice for someone who's just thinking about it or contemplating it? Maybe they're a little worried about protein, not getting protein because they've been programmed to think that. So what would your best advice for them be?
I would just say that, coming from my own past experience of not knowing to knowing, I would really encourage people to listen to their hearts and listen to their instincts, their gut, whatever tells them, whatever their heart is telling them. If their heart's leading them in the direction of not wanting to participate, not wanting to pay into a system that's really truly broken and heartbreaking, then to listen to that and allow that to give them the fuel to keep learning, keep going, continue researching, continue watching the videos. If you're concerned about the health aspects of it, there are tons of incredible pieces of information that exist that will guide you and allow you to see it from a different perspective. Forks Over Knives is an incredible documentary that is free on Netflix that you can watch and see that this misconception that vegans are unhealthy, or that you don't get all of the nutrients and vitamins that you need on a plant-based diet, is just categorically false. It'll give you actually insight that is the complete opposite of that, that shows you that these nutrients can all be found in the plants around us, the fruits, the vegetables, the grains. Whole foods, plant-based diet is, an incredible way to combat some of the chronic, and deadly health conditions that really have taken over the Western Hemisphere. So yeah, just keep going. Don't give up.
Everybody's got something,
Yeah.
There's every day, and they have some condition, and they're taking a certain medication for something, and it's like, knock on wood, I'm completely medication free, but now that I'm vegan, I plan to stay that way. And it's just an amazing feeling knowing that you're actually getting healthier and healthier as time goes by,
Right.
now.
One last thing that I would recommend too is to find a community, find people that are like-minded, that will support your decisions. Don't,
you know, at least somebody. I mean, you may not have access to a whole community at first, because a lot of people are living in areas where they don't even have very many vegan restaurants yet. But at least there's got to be someone, whether it's, you know, Facebook, whether it's, you can look on Craigslist or meetups.com maybe. If there's a vegan place in your community or a meeting you could go to. So there are resources out there, is what we're saying, yeah.
For sure, yeah. Meetup is a great conduit for that. So definitely look at Meetup to find local people in your community that are doing different activities, whether it be picnics, gatherings, protests, whatever, and just latch onto those people and don't allow the thoughts of other people to decide. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think that's really important, because we're still at the stage where most people are not vegan, so the majority is still non-vegan, and the majority of people still have some negative connotations when it comes to veganism. So you definitely want to have someone else who understands what you're going through, you can talk to, and realize that, you know, you might lose some friends, but you'll definitely make other friends. And, you know, just the compassion that vegans have in general for animals, I feel extends also to the compassion that they have for other humans. So it's a nice connection.
Absolutely. 100% agree with that statement, for sure.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Paris. And again, her sign company is Sign Up for Love on Etsy. Do you want to give them the address again?
Website is etsy.com/shop/sign-up-for-love, all one word. Thank you, Kari, for your time today and for inviting me to do this. And I just love your videos. You are such a voice for this movement and for animals all across the globe that don't have a voice. And I just can't thank you enough. I admire you beyond words. To talk about Loveland Farm Sanctuary just for one final moment, we do have a business plan that is up on our website. So if you're curious about what we're trying to do, if you'd like to be involved in any way or become a private, investor or capital funder, or have any connections that would help us with grants or things along those lines that will help us move the needle a little bit, you can check out my business plan, which is a 14-page business plan on the website, which is lovelandfarmsanctuary.org. It's just one page, but it does give you access to the 14-page business plan that I have here. That's pretty in-depth. It's, a 3 to 5 year plan that has kind of all of our details mapped out there. So take a look at that. And
so you are so organized. You are ready for this.
I'm ready for sure. Yeah. Stay connected with me. Find me on Facebook. Sign Up for Love is on Facebook, and that's where we'll keep everybody posted on our progress.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Paris. I hope you have a great night.
Thanks, you as well. Bye.